9 to 5 was released this weekend in a free to play beta where players can try out the game and see whether or not they like it. So naturally, I decided to give this game a try with some of my friends to see whether or not we like it, get some general impressions about the game, and see what could be done better and what the game does well inherently. To start, this game is 3v3v3, so I tried it with two of my friends to get the best possible experience of being able to have the communication needed for this sort of game. What is 9 to 5? 9 to 5 by the developers is said to be a 3v3v3 team tactics first person shooter, meaning that this game is similar to those of Rainbow Six Siege, CSGO, Valorant, etc., where it's generally teams against each other with some sort of objectives defending or attacking. The one gimmick with this game being it's 3v3v3 means it's just not your team against another team, but there's three teams involved in some sort of eternal three-way, if whatever you want to call it. So, that's actually what got me interested in the game to start, because I was like, this is kind of new, this is cool, let's try it, see how it works. If it's bad, whatever. I mean, we have our traditional 5v5 games. Otherwise, this might be a new form, new medium for FPS games. So, again, that's why I've been following this game for a while and jumped on the open beta when it came out. Initially, out the gate, 9 to 5 offers you a gear system where you could customize your primary, secondary weapons, your armor vest class, I guess you could call it, which features a different number of grenades, and utility you could have, as well as a drone perk. Honestly, from inspection, I don't really think there's anything too unique to say about this. It's a general pick your weapon, pick your perk system, pick your grenades, similar to that of Call of Duty and to Rainbow Six Siege. Nothing too unique, nothing too special. And with this, the game offered a nice little progression system where you don't have everything unlocked out the gate, but you have to play games for some sort of virtual points or coins. I'm not too sure what they're called. And with them, you unlock different weapons, gear, utility, whatever in the store. And I found this progression system actually to be very generous, where in about every game you play, you unlock one thing. So you play a game, you unlock a gun, you play a game, you unlock an armor vest, which makes progression naturally really fast. I would say for the whole store, I mean, out of what I saw, there's about 12 to 15 things listed. I'm not too sure on the exact number, but you can probably unlock everything with just a few hours of gameplay to get the full experience of the game, where you have all the gear and utility and weapons and everything unlocked to you, at least from the open beta. Whether or not they change this in the future to make it harder to obtain things or add new weapons, new equipment, whatever, I'm not too sure, but that's how it was as it stands right now. 9 to 5 also offered two maps in the open beta. Honestly, nothing too special to say about them. One was a bit smaller than the other, but again, the map design wasn't really anything special. It wasn't bad by any means. It is what it is. It's an FPS with maps. You learn them, you play them, and I personally had no problems with them necessarily. So, gameplay itself. The gameplay itself featured three stages of play every time you hit the play button with your team or in solo queue. Stage 1 is the three teams fighting it out to fight for a neutral objective, meaning the three teams spawn separate of each other. There's a neutral objective somewhere in the middle of them, and whoever either kills the rest of their opponents or controls the objective wins the match, or the stage of the battle, I guess. So depending on who won this stage would dictate who played what position in the next round. So the way this system worked was inherently the three teams attacked the neutral objective. That's always the same case for each first round. Whoever won the round prior will be the defender for the next round of the objective, whatever it may be. So round 1, three teams fight for an objective. One team wins, let's call them Team A. Team A will be the defending team against two attacking teams. And then in the third round, whoever wins, whether it be Team A, B, or C, that team will be the defenders of the third round. There's no point system, there's no base system. You could win all three rounds, you could lose all three. The game ends after 3 rounds. And that's just how the gameplay works, from my understanding, at least right now. So, that's basically the game in a nutshell. It's a tactical FPS. You have your basic first-person mechanics. There is leaning in this game. You have your ARs, shotguns, snipers, pistols, all that fun stuff. You have grenades and your different armor classes and drones. So drones similar to Rainbow Six, where you use them to scout out the enemy, but just in this game they're flying, which is kind of neat, I guess. And there isn't really much else to say about the game, so I guess we could get into pros and cons. starting from top to bottom. We'll start with some cons. So we'll start with the menu. The main menu for gear is kind of unfortunate. There's some inherent problems with it. So the biggest one being the weapon damage isn't actually shown, and gear durability isn't really explained, and stats for grenades, nothing's explained, nothing's easy to figure out. I'm sure there's a wiki somewhere out there to learn what everything is, but again, I would like these features to be in the game, at least telling me how much damage the weapon I have selected does, so I know generally my time to kill or what I need to do to kill somebody, right? With different armor classes. Armor durability isn't explained either, although I'm pretty sure it's just an extension of your health bar, which you can't repair throughout the match with medkits or anything else. Once your armor's gone, it's gone, and there's nothing you could do about it. So the more durability you have, I guess, is just the more HP you have, and that's just that. Whether or not if it affects speed, I have no idea. And another thing the armor affects is your gear and utility, although there's this weird thing where there's empty slots which aren't X'd out, so it makes it seem like you can select something but you can't. Regardless, I would like to see the gear system modified and changed a little bit to make it more user friendly, at least adding damage numbers to weapons, adding the meaning of durability, or explaining in some sort of tutorial, which doesn't exist, which made me and my friends have to figure out gameplay from the bottom up as to what the hell we were meant to do. And like, you know, Xing out boxes that we can't use with certain armored gears or whatever, just to make it more clear as to what we're doing. The second thing, the gunplay doesn't feel very good. It doesn't feel bad either. It just kind of feels like a COD knockoff, which is weird for a tactical FPS. It feels like ADSing is the right way to go on like a game of Valorant, and the general consensus is that the bullets follow where you're ADSing, which just makes sense, similar to Rainbow Six Siege and other games, but it doesn't feel super amazing. The game is in beta, so I imagine it just will get better with time, but they did add spray patterns, which is nice, but again, nothing felt special, let's just say that. It's just a generic FPS shooter-esque feeling. Another thing is, and my last con actually, being that the game lacks self-identity. So that sounds weird on the surface, but if you think about Call of Duty, what's it known for? It's known to be that fast-paced arcade shooter, right? Think about Rainbow Six Siege, it's known for its destructive environments, and you can call it the joint system, but obviously it's mostly known for its explosive walls, reinforcements, barricades, all that fun stuff. Valorant and CSGO are known as the, I don't know what you would call, like the traditional tactical FPS, where, I mean, you know what CSGO, if you're watching this video, you know what CSGO is, just like your no ADS, basically aim-based shooter, and like cool, but so this game, it doesn't have a self-identity. Sure, it's 3v3v3, which is cool, but it doesn't really work. And the reason it doesn't work is after the first round, the defending team just feels like a 3v6, and it just doesn't really feel balanced around anything. The map design doesn't do anything special to make the defenders feel like they have an advantage, and honestly, the tactical aspect doesn't feel like it exists at all. Because from the few hours I played with friends, again, maybe it's just inexperience because the game's so new or in beta or whatever, but it feels like you could just run and gun at your opponents, and there's, again, running and gunning feels like a very effective strategy, and it doesn't feel like there's much planning your tactics around it. It feels like Call of Duty nerfed down to lower graphics and slower gunplay, and like there's no slow pushing, there's no tactics that were shown in the footage before the game released. It just doesn't feel super amazing to play. Like, again, 3v3v3 cool, but defenders always feel at a disadvantage. It just feels like a kind of a clusterfuck, a third-party fest, if you will, where the best way to win, in what me and my friends found, was to wait for two teams to fight it out. One team will obviously lose the battle, and then the other team will be softened up, and then you just go and clean them up. And that just felt like sit around and wait for one team to lose and the other one to get weakened to get an easy win. And then if we talk about pros, like, it's free, I guess. Like, there's nothing that this game does super well to make it feel good to play. Like, I cannot recommend this game over a game like Call of Duty, Battlefield, like any established AAA FPS game. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me as to why you would play this. The game isn't awful by any means. It's playable. Like, you're not going to have a bad time playing it, but it's just not as enjoyable as other games. So, did I shit on this game a lot in the last few minutes? Yeah. But there's a reason for it. I want this game to be good. I think the idea of a 3v3v3 shooter is really cool. Hasn't been done before, and if executed well, can be a very, very fresh experience, but just the way it stands right now, I can't recommend this game. Like, it's free, so feel free to try it. Obviously, I mean, it's not going to cost you anything. The game is about 17 gigabytes of space on your computer, but the gunplay doesn't feel good enough to justify. The tactical part doesn't feel like it beats Rainbow or Valorant or CSGO. Like, there's nothing unique about this game that makes it feel good. Will it get better? I hope. I want this game to be good. I want this game to succeed, but it's just hard because I'm not gonna play it because I can just go play Apex Legends. I could play any other game. I sound like a broken record, so I'm gonna stop. You know what I mean by now. But feel free to give the game a try. If you agree, let me know in the comments. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's any other games you'd want me to take a look at. But yeah, if you were looking at getting this game, again, feel free to try it, but I can't guarantee you're gonna be too thrilled to play it after about an hour or two. Like, it kind of just gets boring in my opinion. I don't know if that's bad to say, but if they come around with more updates in another beta or release the game, I'll be sure to take another look. Hopefully they Hopefully they fix the gunplay, make it feel better. Hopefully they fix the menus and the gear system, make it feel more important, easier to understand. And hopefully the 3v3v3 tactical aspect actually becomes a tactical aspect. Because right now it feels stuck somewhere between a limbo of arcade shooter and tactical, and it's just that. So that's my take on the game. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.